Hello, I'm Sandy Arnett.
And I'm Joanna Campbell. On this edition of Commuter Connections, we'll show you how MTA is preparing for the launch of Baltimore Link, which is now about a month away.
MTA has been recognized nationally for its affordability in transit. We've got the story.
It's hard to believe, but Central Maryland's light rail system is celebrating 25 years of service.
MTA is your best ride to the Preakness. We've got the Triple Crown game plan for getting you there.
With the success of an initial launch, MTA is introducing additional dedicated bus lanes in downtown Baltimore to help improve on-time bus performance in the region.
All on this edition of Commuter Connections. Keeping you up to date on the exciting changes coming to transit through Baltimore Link is an important task for the MTA. We're now just a month away from a big launch.
MTA, of course, is working hard on preparations for Baltimore Link to ensure success. MTA Chief Operating Officer John Duncan joins us with a look at how MTA is preparing for the big launch of Baltimore Link. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, for those viewers who don't know, what is Baltimore Link?
Baltimore Link is a complete reimagining of the current Baltimore bus system as it is now. And it helps to improve not only the bus system and its on-time performance now, but it helps connect in and link into the other modes of transit that we offer.
And when will the new Baltimore Link service begin?
Baltimore Link is due to begin on June 18th.
So describe for us this new Baltimore Link network.
The new Baltimore Link network is a reimagining of the current transit system in Baltimore. The current way that we do it is it's a radial system. Basically, a bus starts on one end of the city or the county and it goes all the way through and comes all the way back to the other side. That is an inefficient way to transport people through the fifth most congested city in the country. We're moving to what's called a hub and spoke design of transit. That means that routes will bring people in and they will connect to other routes that are surge and pulse routes that bring people directly in and out of the downtown business district.
Okay, and that'll help avoid some of the congestion downtown as well, I would imagine.
Correct. Remember, all of the buses in our system at one point in the day or one point in their route go right through the middle of 4 streets in downtown. So if you're going from Towson to White Marsh, you're going to downtown Baltimore to get there. This fixes that.
So how much of the current bus system will actually change?
About 50% of the routes that we operate now will not change to a large degree. They will change in name. There may be a few adjustments that are made based on statistics of the service that that specific route provides. The other half of our system will change quite significantly. Not only will the name change, the number, or it'll change to a Baltimore Link color, but it will change from a scheduled service to a high frequency service. So a bus, when you get to the bus stop, you'll know that according to the bus stop sign, that a bus will be here every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes during peak times of the day. And what that'll do is it will assist you in your planning of your trip that day.
Now let's talk about preparation, because it sounds like there's a lot going on and you're on the forefront. So what all is going into preparing to launch Baltimore Link?
Good question. So the preparation began really in 2013, but we really got moving in 2015 when Governor Hogan announced Baltimore Link and his investment into Baltimore City. We've done everything from being in the process of training over 1,200 drivers. We've had several series of meetings for management training sessions. We've been training the public. We have had a large outreach effort to the public, and that's not going to end. We are actually ramping that up through the last 30 days before Baltimore Link starts. So you'll see a brochure in every vehicle telling you what that route is going to look like on June 18th. We have a series of 20 community meetings set up for the last 30 days before Baltimore Link starts at high frequency centers, at libraries, at churches, to let everyone know that they have a resource that they can find out what's happening to their service and their system.
And as we prepare for Baltimore Link, I hear there's also an MTA street team?
There are several MTA street teams. They also will continue to ramp up. These street teams and ambassadors of our service will carry all the information for both your route, the way it is now, and the way it is converting and what it's changing to. We also have a bus that rides on every route, a different route each day, that it's an information bus, and it tells you these are the changes that are happening. We have representatives on those buses that tell you exactly what's going to happen and show you the maps and show you the system.
So for people who need more information on Baltimore Link, where can they find it?
BaltimoreLink.com. That'll be the #1 place that they can find the most comprehensive volume of information about Baltimore Link. It has trip planners in there, so you could just put in where you're at and where you're going, or it has a system overlay. You can look at the map that shows the bus route that you're on now and click a button and it'll show you the new bus route. In addition, we're going to have a series of meetings. We have the street teams and ambassadors, and then we have information in all of our services, on all of our buses, on all of our trains.
So people can't miss it.
We hope that they don't miss it. That's our #1 push. Other than training our operators how to run the system safely and efficiently, our #1 goal is to make sure there is no person untouched with the knowledge of what's going to happen in the system.
Well, John, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations with all the work that's been done so far, and good luck with the launch on June 18th.
Thank you very much.
MTA has been recognized nationally for customer affordability in transit. It's certainly a distinction to be proud of. That's just ahead.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
MTA was recently recognized nationally for service affordability in transit by the Value Penguin Group. MTA has the distinction of being the most affordable large city transit organization in the entire country. That is certainly something to be proud of. Joining us to talk about this national recognition is MTA Director of Fare Collection Systems and Services, David Baldwin.
Welcome to Commuter Connections.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So this was a survey of monthly transit pass costs. What is the cost for a monthly pass for the MTA, and where does it rank along with the other cities that were surveyed?
Yeah, MTA's monthly pass is $68, and actually it is the cheapest monthly pass compared to our peers. Washington, D.C.'s monthly pass is $81. San Francisco has a $91 monthly pass. Boston, Massachusetts has $84.50. And Seattle, Washington, the highest, is at $99. What's important to understand is even though we have the cheapest monthly pass at $68, this study compared the pass product to the average income for that city.
So with Baltimore Link about to launch on June 18th, what does the affordability distinction and honor mean for transit riders, getting ready to move into this improved transit system?
Yeah, with Baltimore Link, MTA is revamping our entire system and how we transport our customers throughout the Baltimore region. We made a commitment to our customers that even though there's going to be an extra cost associated with Baltimore Link, that we would continue to make transit affordable for our customers.
For viewers who may not know the fare structures for the MTA, what are some of the other costs for weekly or daily passes?
Yeah, the MTA provides several options for our customers. A customer who uses our system infrequently may want to just buy the one-way ticket. The one-way ticket is $1.70. That $1.70 is the same price whether you're using local bus, Metro Subway, or light rail. We also offer a day pass. The day pass is priced at $4. That allows our customers unlimited travel throughout the day on all 3 modes. So someone who's going to use our system more than 2 times in a day, it's better that they buy the $4 day pass. We also offer a weekly pass for those customers that commute to and from work, and the weekly is $22. And then we round out with that monthly pass of $68. The beauty of the multi-use pass products is the more you use it, the cheaper your fare actually is.
How does the MTA work to make and maintain the system affordability?
Yeah, we're kind of unique in the industry. First of all, we offer a number of modes of transportation. We have the local bus, we have light rail, we have metro, we have paratransit mobility. We also provide commuter bus services for outlying areas to and from Baltimore and to and from DC. And we also have commuter train service between Baltimore and DC and DC to Western Maryland. Locally in the Baltimore region, our fare structure is kind of unique in that we have a flat fare structure. You pay one price and you can use all modes of transportation. Unlike other transit agencies throughout the country, a lot of them are based upon zones, based upon time and distance. And that makes our product a lot more affordable to the customer.
And if people want more information on MTA's fares and services, where can they find it?
If you have access to internet, the easiest place to go would be www.mta.maryland.gov, or you can call the MTA at 410-539-5000, and someone will be more than happy to answer any questions you have about the MTA and our services.
Great. This has been great information. Dave, thanks so much again for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Coming up next, a look at MTA's Triple Crown game plan for getting you to this year's Preakness. Stay with us.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Providing patrons safe, efficient, reliable transit with world-class customer service is front and center in all that MTA does, including getting you to this year's Preakness. I recently met with MTA Deputy Chief Operating Officer Sean Adgerson at Old Hilltop for a look at MTA's winning game plan for getting you to Pimlico on Preakness Day. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me, Sandy.
So tell us, when is Preakness this year?
Preakness is Saturday, May 20th, 2017.
It's close.
Close,
Coming
very
up
close.
very soon.
Yes.
So why is MTA the best option for getting to Pimlico on Preakness Day?
Well, I mean, we're the best option because Pimlico is right in the heart of the city. And being in the heart of the city, parking becomes a challenge here in this neighborhood. And so with the MTA, we have over 10,000 free parking spaces available with our metro system as well as our light rail. And joining us, parking for free and catching our shuttle over to Pimlico is truly the best option.
So tell me, what are the various transit options you have with MTA for getting over to Pimlico?
So we have several different options. So if you're using a light rail system, so you're going to either come from Hunt Valley or from Cromwell, you want to get up at our Cold Spring Lane station. And you come up to Cold Spring Lane, we'll have a shuttle bus right there waiting for you to shuttle you over to the racetrack. Also at near Cold Spring Lane is the Poly Western Complex. We'll have parking available there where you can just park on that parking lot and then catch a shuttle over from the school here to the racetrack. And if you're using Metro, you be coming from downtown area or from Owings Mills, you want to get off at Rogers Avenue Station, and we'll have shuttle buses that will shuttle you over to the racetrack.
For those who want an early start on the day, how early can they actually catch transit over to Pimlico?
They start at 8 a.m. Coming, and they'll be coming on a cycle, every 10 to 15 minutes, and they'll drop you right out here at the Park Heights and Hayward, and we'll be bringing people over until about 2:30 p.m. And then we'll sort of flip the commute, and then starting at that time, we'll start bringing people back from Pimlico over to their different locations.
And roughly, what does it cost to take transit?
So a single one-way fare is $1.70, or you could do a round trip for $3.40. But we would encourage you to buy the single day pass for $4, and that will allow you to use our transit services all day long. So should you want to do something after the race, you have the flexibility of being able to use our service to enjoy any of the things in and around town. So we think that's the best option versus just doing a round trip for $3.40.
Now, I do have to ask you, because I know lots of people will probably be using the system to get over to the racetrack. What should they not bring with them on transit?
So the best place to go to get all the do's and don'ts is as to the Pimlico website, where they've listed out a variety of things that you shouldn't bring over to the venue. There's things as small as tripods for your camera systems, or even umbrellas aren't allowed. So I definitely would advise patrons to go there first before they make their trip, because once you get here, you're either going to have to take the trip back over to your car, or you're going to have to discard it.
And for people who want more information about additional information about the services that will be available to them on Preakness Day, where can they go?
So they can go to our website. That's www.mta.maryland.gov. We'll have plenty of information about how to get to and from this historic event.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see you at the races. Thanks again, Sean.
Thank you.
Coming up next, new dedicated bus lanes for downtown Baltimore. That's next. Stay with us.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
With the success of the initial launch of dedicated bus lanes, MTA is introducing additional dedicated bus lanes in downtown Baltimore to help improve the on-time performance of bus service throughout our region. I recently met with MTA Sustainability Bicycle Pedestrian Planner Patrick McMahon for a look at the expansion of the dedicated bus lane initiative.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Patrick.
Glad to be here, thanks.
So for viewers who don't know, what are dedicated bus lanes and how did they come to Baltimore?
Dedicated bus lanes are red segments of the street that are designated for exclusive use by buses, bicycles, and emergency vehicles. And Baltimore City first put in dedicated bus lanes in 2009 on segments of Pratt and Lombard Street to benefit the new Charm City Circulator and the existing MTA routes.
Can you describe how a driver should navigate through the dedicated bus lanes in Baltimore?
Yeah, drivers should generally stay out of the red part of the bus lane, but everyone is allowed to get into the bus lane in the dash sections in advance of making a right turn. So you should only get in just before you're going to be making a right turn in that dashed red section and stay out of them otherwise.
And what about bicycles? How does that work for them?
Bicycles are allowed to be riding in the dedicated bus lanes at all times, and we know that it's probably only going to be for our more experienced cyclists, but we hope that it provides a good opportunity to provide additional facilities throughout the downtown area.
What's the fine a driver would receive for driving through one of the dedicated bus lanes?
The penalty for driving in a dedicated bus lane is the same as the penalty for failure to comply with a traffic control device, and that's a $90 fine and 1 point on your license, so it's definitely something that you want to avoid.
And how are bus lanes being used around the country?
There are bus lanes in a lot of other cities. MTA did a lot of research looking at the way bus lanes are used in New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, and Seattle in advance of developing our own bus lanes. And then just recently, Washington, D.C. has added about 4 blocks of dedicated bus lanes.
How did the dedicated bus lanes fit into Governor Larry Hogan's Baltimore Link launching in June?
The dedicated bus lanes are a key part of our efforts to make a more safe, efficient, and reliable bus network with world-class customer service. And so they're one of the many things combined with signal priority that we're doing to make our bus service a little faster and more reliable coming through downtown.
And what's the public's perception of these new bus lanes?
I think they've been received fairly well. They understand the importance of getting transit through downtown effectively and safely, and we've seen a lot of compliance with the dedicated bus lanes. It helps that we've got a lot of different ways of making sure drivers are aware of them. The red paint really helps people know this is an area you're not supposed to be driving in. I've been impressed at how much people are following those guidance. And then I think we've seen a lot of excitement from transit riders and a lot of interest in seeing them expanded.
And with the success of the bus lanes already in place, when and where are more dedicated bus lanes coming to Baltimore?
So Baltimore City and MTA have come to an agreement that we're going to add 4 more miles of dedicated bus lanes on a number of streets through downtown. And those are going to first start installation in May of 2017. In advance of the launch of Baltimore Link, and they should all be completed by the fall of 2017. And those lanes are going to include Baltimore and right here on Fayette Street, as well as segments of Guilford, Gay, Hillen Streets, other pieces of Pratt and Lombard, as well as parts of St. Paul and Charles Street. And on Charles Street and on some portions of Baltimore Street, those lanes will not be painted red because those are only going to be available during the peak periods. And so those will have signage and markings on the street, but won't have any sort of specific red paint on them.
And how's the MTA getting out the word about the new bus lanes and how to travel through them?
We're working very closely with Baltimore City DOT. We're doing things like this, as well as working on a public service announcement with Baltimore City DOT. We also developed this little handout that can be given to drivers that gives information about what the dedicated bus lanes are and where they can be used. That's something that's being distributed by the city's traffic enforcement officers. We're going to use variable message signs. We're going to be doing everything we can to try and make sure that people know about these.
If viewers would like more information about the dedicated bus lanes, where can they find it?
Probably the best place to go to is baltimorelink.com, and in there, if you look in the Baltimore Basics and the infrastructure section, there's a lot more information about the dedicated bus lanes.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, glad to be of help.
Coming up next, light rail is celebrating its 25th anniversary. We've got a look at this milestone in MTA service just ahead.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Central Maryland's light rail line seems to hold its age pretty well. It's hard to believe, but light rail is turning 25 this year. 25 years ago, MTA in our region celebrated the exciting launch of light rail, which you may remember coincided with the exciting 1992 opening of Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Joining us with a happy birthday look at the service is MTA Deputy Administrator Suhair Al-Khatib. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So when in 1992 did light rail service begin?
April 1992 coincided with opening day for Orioles, the new stadium. So we were running service the same day Orioles Park opened for service.
In 1992, how much did it cost to build the light rail system?
$369 million to build the first phase of the project. The second phase that opened in 1997, cost was over $100 million.
And you were here at the start of light rail. What do you remember about the whole grand opening?
It was a lot of excitement. Baltimore was getting a new, brand new light rail system and getting a brand new stadium. Downtown was buzzing with people, a lot of excitement. These two projects were the new Baltimore City. Beside Inner Harbor, these two mega projects was meant to turn Baltimore and make it a huge destination for a lot of people.
And what were some of the station stops on light rail when it first began?
We started the first stage that opened, started with Timonium Fairground at the north end and Glen Burnie at the south end. In between, we had Mount Washington. I was, as a matter of fact, stationed at Mount Washington, helping with customers on opening day.
So looking over the past 25 years, how many people rode the light rail service when it was new versus how many ride it today?
When we opened the system, again, the system did not have the extensions that was added onto the system later on in 1997. In 1997, we added 3 more extensions to the system, one to Penn Station, one to BWI, and one to Ham Valley. The system initially started about 20,000 and gradually went up to close to 29,000. And that's where we are today, in about 28,000 riders a day.
So I know Metro Subway started in Baltimore prior to light rail. Now, Metro Subway was running east to west. What were some of the issues that you were looking at in planning light rail that you might have experienced with starting Metro Subway?
Well, the planning for both systems were the planning studies that are done for both started in the 60s. And they were looking at several alignments to connect downtown Baltimore with the suburban communities, to move people from where they live to where they work. Plus, when Orioles Park was considered, the system was thought of as a place to connect, to bring people to the park, because we did not want people driving all the way to Orioles Park. And so, when you have 44,000 people filling a stadium, it's hard to believe, these people are going to drive. Light rail plays a big role in making sure that people are using transit so they can get there, don't have to worry about parking, they have a clean, safe system that moves them. We looked at moving people efficiently, safely, fast mode of transportation, and don't get stuck in traffic in downtown during either rush hour or during events or during Orioles games. So these are the criteria for planning: is how can we connect people and make sure we have a pretty good system to move them.
And I know from time to time you're doing an overhaul of the light rail cars where you're refurbishing them. What's the importance of that and how often does it take place?
These cars are just like anything else. They age, they require a lot of maintenance on a daily basis, and then every 15 years they go through what's called midlife cycle, where their system is rehabbed, all the parts that need to be replaced, whether it's mechanical, electrical, a lot of new electronics be added to the system. And now with 25 years, we are going through a second part of our midlife where we are revamping the entire car, pulling just about everything in the car, and making sure the car is good to go for another 15 years.
Now, of course, there are a lot of improvements coming to the MTA with the launch of Governor Larry Hogan's Baltimore Link. How does light rail play into the new Baltimore Link system?
Baltimore Link, one of the key components of Baltimore Link is to connect to light rail and metro in a more efficient and better way. So we have real connectivity, so people can go on these 12 color-coded express route that goes east-west and north-south, and make sure that they have the proper connection to light rail and metro.
That's a lot of great information. Thank you for joining us today, and happy birthday to the light rail.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks again.
We've come to the end of another Commuter Connections program. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time. Take care.